Reforms and Revolution before 1848. The National Liberal Revolution succeeded first in Greece. The Greeks had lived under the Ottoman Turks, desiring their own independence. They formed secret societies that led to revolt under Alexander Ypsilanti. The great powers, especially Metternich, refused to help Greeks because they opposed all types of revolutions. But because of the Greeks' culture and religion, the great powers tried to force Turkey to accept peace. The Turkish refusal led to armed conflict and the declaration of Greece's independence by the great powers in 1830. In the 18th century, basic civil rights were equal between the rich and the poor. Only 8% of the British population was allowed to vote for representatives due to the parliament being tricked by the king. In 1780, things started to heat up when there was interest for political reform, but the French Revolution scared the British. Arguments between the rich and the poor about the Corn Laws were in place. The Corn Laws are British laws that prohibited the import of foreign grain. It was difficult for Britain to gain grain. The people were allowed to have foreign grain only if prices at home rose. This new law caused unemployment. Many middle-class citizens wanted to participate in reform so they could have a say in the government. The political competition in Britain caused the Irish peasants to go through horrendous living conditions. The landlords in Ireland took advantage of this situation by gaining as much as they could. The peasants would live off of potatoes, growing it on short acres of land. The growth of potatoes caused an increase of the population in Ireland, going from 3 million to 8 million. People would marry early and have plenty of children since they could easily live off the potatoes. Having families gave people hope to raise out of poverty, and it also helped pay for land. The dependency on the potato caused chaos once the crop growth failed in 1845, 1846, and 1848. The Irish were in the Great Famine, where starvation and sickness was widespread. Despite famine, poverty, and sickness, the British government did little to help. The Great Famine caused population declines, people fleeing from the country, and anti-British feelings from the Irish. The French Revolution of 1830, also known as the July Revolution, was a rebellion by liberals and revolutionaries against the French monarchy. The country had grown displeased with Charles X, who limited freedom of the press and concentrated power in the crown. Within 3 days in July, the capital fell to the revolutionaries, who wanted to establish a republic. However, the upper middle class succeeded in placing Louis Philippe in the monarchy, and despite some reforms, the public continued to grow unhappy with the monarchy.